Okay, there we go. Oh man. Hi,
That
this is
was
Jeff
cool.
Robinson, illustration by design, and I'm with Rick Piper from Cross Comics. And unlike that horrific little commercial you just saw, we're going to be talking about his comic, which is a lot more uplifting, called The Canadian Shield. And The Canadian Shield is a Canadian superhero created by Rick, who himself is a Canadian. So he has firsthand knowledge about the ins and outs of Canadian superherohood. So
I do.
hopefully he will hopefully let all of us know all about his character, his campaign, and everything going on with it. So, Rick, I want to thank you for joining me today. And
Well, thanks for having me, of
yeah,
course.
yeah, and yeah, if you would please tell us a little about the Canadian Shield and your campaign. Now, this is the second campaign for the character, correct?
Yeah. Well, my second campaign for comics, I did have of course, a coloring book about a year ago, a year and a half ago, that I
Ah,
did a campaign
hmm,
for, um, which had a bunch of cross comics characters in. One of which was the Canadian Shield.
okay, cool.
But yeah, this is the second comic. In this one, he is going to be going up against a villain, his first villain.
Hmm.
Um, nowhere the villain's nowhere near as powerful as him, but he's just getting used to his powers, and all that.
Hmm.
Some of them he knows about, some of them he doesn't. You know, he doesn't
Okay.
know like how durable he is, in the suit and stuff
Hmm.
like that. Yeah, sure, he's had a moose crash into him in the first issue, but
Now, I mean, who is he? What,
Um,
what's his backstory?
well, he is a Native American from the early 1800s. I'm not sure exactly whether he would have been born in the late 1700s, like 1790s, or early in the 18 like oh ones, between 1801 and 1810.
Hmm.
But somehow I'm figuring probably more the early 1800s.
Okay.
And he is, like I said, Native American, an Indian. Um, he has accepted, as I put in the comics, the God of the White Man because Indians don't usually worship uh, one God. They worship sort of nature and all that.
Okay.
But so and because he has accepted the God of the White Man and follows the God of the White Man, his tribe and all that has rejected him, as
So,
one of theirs.
so when you say the God of the white man, what does that mean?
The Christian God,
Oh, okay.
you
Oh,
know,
he's a Christian. Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
yeah,
I
and
didn't I didn't know if he meant Zeus or I mean which white men.
yeah, and because he's Native American and the time is what it is,
Mhm.
the white man has, they don't really want much to do with him because he's an Indian.
Right.
So
Correct.
he's like caught between a rock and a hard place, as they say.
Hmm.
He wants to serve God, and he's like, God, how? How am I going to serve you? How can I be a warrior for you?
Hmm.
And he's saying that in a prayer in a church, and that's when he gets transported through time to our time.
Okay.
Now, now I put him up in the where there's nothing around, you know,
Hmm.
no culture shock. There's going to be a bit of shock just to the fact that he was one place, then he's
Right.
another.
Okay. So he gets transported from the past to the present.
Yeah.
Okay. So his adventures are set in the present day.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. And all that.
We'll probably at some point delve a little bit more into maybe some adventures that he had before he got the suit or whatever. But
Mhm.
I'm not too far down that line and thinking of those and all that. And then
Okay.
the suit itself is from the future. It's something the Canadian government is working on in secret that like nobody knows about.
Hmm.
And just as they basically finish it, God
Right.
takes it from them and brings it back through time to where he brought the Canadian Shield. And
So
an angel appears to the Canadian Shield and tells him to put it on. Travel south.
okay. Now, what what powers does he have?
Strength, speed, practically almost all of Superman's type ones, but probably we're gonna put them down a little bit. But
So does
from
he
the way
fly?
some people, yeah, he flies.
Okay.
The only couple that you probably won't see that he has, that Superman has, is like heat vision and
Mhm.
cold breath.
Okay. Cool. Ah, interesting. Okay.
He's like a virtual Superman, as I say in the first comic.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. Well, let's take a look at your campaign. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can share the screen. If I can figure this out. Uh, stop screen, share screen. Mm, nope. Nope. There we go. Okay. I think that is that showing up? Yep. There it
Yeah,
is.
let me.
Let me see if I can get you on here. Oh, there you are. Okay. Cool. Okay. Um,
Uh,
Awesome. Okay, so this says Canadian Shield 2 and more. Uh, Now, I see another character here. Here's Canadian Shield. Who's this? Next one.
well, as it says, Snowdrift. This is Snowdrift. One of many other characters I've created, but the second that I've decided to release with
Hmm.
her own book,
Okay, cool.
which I tell her origin story in, or
Okay,
part of her origin story.
okay. And what can you tell us what it is, or is that we have to buy the book?
Well, I hope everybody buys the book, but
But can you tell us anything
the
about her?
yeah. Oh well, she was born in the early 20s,
Hmm.
um, or mid 20s. She ends up going to school, college during Second World War. She becomes a scientist, um, of some sort,
Right.
and she's given an expedition to go to the Canadian Arctic
Hmm.
to do some sort of research. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Um, she goes out on a walk one day, and a freak snowstorm comes up, and she is buried under the snow and ice. And that is approximately like 1951, 1952.
Okay.
When that happens, fast forward 70 years later, present day, and a guy is out in the area, and he ends up finding her and takes her back to his cabin and starts to see whether he can revive her.
Okay. Cool. So these
And
are
of course, she gets revived, and then
right. So they're both sort of time displaced heroes.
yeah,
They're both from the past, and
yeah,
somehow they're both brought back into the present.
yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Neat. Now, what are the different, I guess, tiers for this campaign? And who did you draw both of these books? I know
No,
you
I
wrote
did.
them.
No, I did not draw them. I got a new artist for Canadian Shield. His name's Efren A. Crespo,
Okay. And this is
and
art. Is this his art we're looking at now?
yeah, sort of. I took one of the panels to
Mhm.
do the cover for the Canadian Shield, and then of course you see his art. I colored it though.
Okay.
I'm the
Cool.
colorist on both books,
Hmm.
and John Dillard did pencils and inks for Snowdrift,
Okay. Gotcha.
and again I colored that one.
Okay. So this one is penciled and inked by John Dillard. This one here.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Nice.
Um, so yeah, the first perk, the feature perk, is of course getting them both signed.
Okay.
Um, then of course, for those that are in other countries, and or it's just too expensive as is, exchange rates, shipping, we
Right.
have digital,
Okay.
for those people. Um,
You get
you
both
have
copies.
you can do it one of two ways. You can either do your choice of whichever digitally,
Okay.
because maybe you don't want Canadian Shield, but you want Snowdrift, or vice versa.
Right.
And I'm not going to force anybody to get something they don't want, you know. So,
Yeah.
and as you can see, that's an easy $2 American or three
Okay.
Canadian,
That's great.
and then you can get them both, digitally for $5 Canadian or 4 American,
Okay.
you know,
Good. It's a good
and
deal.
then And then, hey Jeff, this feels like deja vu.
And you
Uh,
can get physical copies for of each one for $12.
yeah,
Okay.
and that yeah, you can choose there,
Right.
obviously, and then you can choose again signed,
For
and
50.
then of
Oh,
course you can get them both for 19,
wow.
you know,
Okay. Okay, that's probably
and
the best
then
deal right there.
well, both signed. I'm not sure how much it is American. It's right up at the top, the featured perk.
Oh, here. Okay.
Uh,
$27
Yeah,
American. Have them both signed.
yeah.
Okay. Good. And then yeah, it goes on from there. Now
Yeah,
I
and then the firefighter tier.
uh
Name that firefighter. On page 6, that is, there's two firefighters on the back of a fire engine,
uh
and they're facing, their backs are facing you. So firefighters have their names or their last names or whatever somewhere on
right.
the back of their thing.
Mhm.
So two people, if they want, they can get the comic, and for $10 extra, comic sign, and for $10 extra, they can name one of the firefighters.
Okay. Cool.
have their name on the back or whatever. Now, I'm not sure how readable it is in print, but it's
Mhm.
nice to know. You probably be able to take a magnifying glass and read it, but
Yeah,
it'll be neat to say, "Hey, I'm in that book," or "I named that firefighter."
there you go. Yeah. What's the Lorenzo? What is that?
Well, I'm sure a lot of people might know Lorenzo Sleestack in our community. He's always usually asking people on a campaign, "Can I get a perk where there's two of everything or two of a lot of the main stuff?" So
Oh,
I basically made up because of the last time he did that, and I
okay.
made up a perk,
Hmm.
with two of the Canadian Shield #1 and two of the Buckler, two of the Ash Can,
Right.
right?
Mm.
And I'm like, okay, what am I gonna call this? And he said, okay, I'm gonna name it after Lorenzo. So every you know campaign, I'm gonna have a Lorenzo tier
Okay.
where there's two of whatever, you know.
Okay. Cool. Now you're selling some of the traditional art from the books as
Yeah.
well?
Well, there's only one page of traditional art in Snowdrift, and that is the last page where you see her in costume,
Okay.
and that, of course, is by John Dillard.
Okay. And you can buy that. You can buy that right here.
Yeah,
Um,
and of course you get the Snowdrift #1 signed by me as well at the same time.
okay. Gotcha.
And you can, if you want, still get the Canadian Shield 2 as an add-on.
Okay.
That way you don't miss out on the Canadian Shield 2.
Okay. Great. Okay. So this traditional art is still available if you guys want to
Yeah,
buy it.
yeah,
And I noticed here at the bottom you have an action figure, which looks very cool.
yeah.
Now that.
Hopefully I'll be updating that soon. Well, so I can't update the picture there, but I can put an update on the campaign showing him with the cape. I should be getting pictures of him with the cape on. In fact, if you go, no, I don't want to get your channel struck or anything. There is a little video of him being spun around at
Mm-hmm.
the top, playing a song. If you mute it, you should be all right.
This here.
Yeah,
Why would I get struck? This is your channel, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. But I put a song. I am
Oh, I see. Okay,
Canadian
gotcha. I understand.
background music
Okay.
for
Hold
this 30-second vid.
on. Okay, let me see if I can play this without and then mute it. Hold on. There we go. That's fast enough. That is
Yeah.
cool. Now, how did you get that made?
Uh, well, I can't. I think it was Tank Fair. Put me in touch, gave me a name of this guy, and I
Uh-huh.
contacted him on
Hello? Uh-oh. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Can you guys hear me? Yep. Hold on. Let me just make sure that this is still working. Let's see. Can you still hear me? I'm assuming you can because everything seems to be working. But let me see if I can't. Um, okay, you can hear me. Trudeau struck again. Probably. He's probably mad at Rick Piper. Let me see if I remove Rick and try to bring him back. See if to see if Rick can get back in. Um, but that is very cool. But in the meantime, as I said in the intro, I'm going to be drawing the Canadian Shield today and see if I can do a fairly good job with the character. Now, I've drawn him before in the past. Let me see if I can't remove this. I think. Oh, there I am. Good. Share. Let's see. Share screen. Is this it? That's it. Okay. Yeah, that's the drawing I did the Canadian Shield. Actually, couple of years ago, but I haven't drawn him since. So this will be a good chance for me to revisit the character and try to give him another go. Hopefully Rick will be back. He has the link, so I'm not sure what happened, but I suspect Justin Trudeau is trying to get revenge on poor Rick for something Rick probably did that mean old Trudeau just didn't like. So, but everybody, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and go to the link at the top of the. Is it at the top of the? Actually, I'm trying to figure this out right now. Where am I? There I am. Boom. Let me try to pin this at the top of the chat. I've just pinned the link to the Canadian Shield campaign. Click on it, and please make sure to support Rick's campaign. You can get the book for as little as $2 for a digital copy, or you can get a physical copy for as little as $12, or you can get both books for physical books for, I believe, $19, which is a pretty good deal. So yeah, check it out and support Rick, support his campaign. I'm sure he'd greatly appreciate it. Let me at least read some of the chat now that I'm in front of my computer, if I can figure this out. Jeff Potts says this feels like deja vu. Jeff Potts is very active in the community, so he's probably seen a lot of the Canadian Shield. And let's see. My sketchbook says you're going to use an old piece, just like the He-Man draw along. Now I'm going to draw a new picture of the Canadian Shield, so it'll be interesting. It's been a couple of years, like I said, so I'm definitely out of practice. Jeff Bott says $2 is something like $3,412.09 Canadian with the exchange rate, probably. Canadian. The crazy thing about Canada is that the shipping rates there are a nightmare. I think we did something called the Boomerang Box, I believe sometime last year, where an empty box from John Dillard was sent to several different comic creators, and each comic creator had to put something that they made inside the box and then send it off to the next creator. I got the box, and it was filled with a bunch of comics that people have done. I put in a comic that I did, but I had to ship it off to Rick in Canada. It ended up costing like $70 to send this small box to Canada. It was crazy. So yeah, shipping rates in Canada are insane. But the exchange rate, I'm not sure. I think it's not too bad though. I don't think it's too bad. Jeff Potts says, don't forget the shields on his gloves and cloak. Yeah, I'm going to use my old drawing from 2 years ago as reference, because that's probably I won't be able to figure it out otherwise. Jeff Potts says Rick has been doing so much promotion he burned out his camera. Apparently so, but he's back now, and I'll put him back on the stream. There you go.
Yeah.
Rick,
hello, my net went out. The most inconvenient times.
Yeah, well, you live in the middle of the frozen tundra, so yeah, I'm not surprised your internet isn't the best. But I'm glad you're back, and I was just showing people my my drawing of the Canadian Shield from a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah. Well, you want to see something with that? Let's see. Let's take my ugly face off here for a sec.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I colored it.
Okay, hold on one second. Can I put you up there? No.
Yeah.
Let me get me off. Let's see. Stop screen. How do I make that bigger?
Just click on me. You should be able to click on me.
Click on you. Click on you. See, this is.
Or spotlight me. Do spotlight and then click where the.
Oh, there we go. Okay, thank you. Cool, awesome. That's a great job. Very good. Yeah, I wish he wore that Mountie hat in all of his adventures. So, I'm hoping that you add that to his costume in issue 3.
Not. No.
Come on, Mounties are cool, and you can have
Well, not so much lately.
you can give him you can give him a trusty moose steed. That'd be great if he rode a moose everywhere he went.
Well, there was a drama or whatever quite some time ago. Back, it was black and white, and it followed a Mountie in the north. I forget what what it was called
Hmm.
on TV.
Okay, cool. That looks great. Um, I'm gonna start drawing a new drawing of the Canadian Shield, and we can talk about your character some more, your plans for the character, and what what you hope for him in the future. Now, you are these like Snowdrift and Canadian Shield? Are they gonna meet up at any point? Are they in the same universe? Are they what's
Oh yeah, they are in the same universe. Actually, in Canadian Shield One, if you remember when he jumps up from the plane going overhead in the morning,
I didn't read it. So
I sent you bought the digital copy and I sent it to you, and you
you did?
didn't read it.
Well,
Yeah.
if I read it, it was 2 years ago. So you have to refresh my memory. What happened?
Well, here, let's see. I should have it actually up on here. Let's see. Just gotta find the page.
See that? Oh, there it is. Okay, cool.
Oh,
All right.
man. Oh, let me re-bring it up. John.
All right.
Okay. What's people saying here? Wait. The round and brown is always in season.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. Maybe the hat? Something like that. Something to do with the hat. Yeah, I actually colored that on my channel too, I believe. So everybody could see, but like you said, that was a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay,
So what made you decide to make your
universe?
But yeah, and also the Canadian Shield. What made you decide to? I mean, I know you're from Canada, but
Yeah.
it, what made you decide to make a patriotic Christian character superhero?
Well, first, what got me is, well, I had my mom got me like Christian Archies to read, and then
Hmm.
I started
Inspire.
into yeah, from Spire, and then I got into the regular Archies
Hmm.
and found out they had superheroes, and I was always into like Superman and Spider-Man cartoons when I was growing up too.
Hmm.
And then when I'm going on at this point, I'm going to the comic shop on a somewhat regular basis to get Archie comics,
Right.
and then when Superman died
Mm.
and
Back in the
wrote
90s.
died and all that, and then Batman broke his back, I'm there and I'm like, okay, I think I might start get this, and then it led into a whole bunch of other comics, and
Mm.
then at one point I'm like, you know what? There's no Christian superheroes out there.
Mm.
Comic books, like I should make it.
Yeah, that's good.
you know,
You,
uh,
you saw a vacuum and you decided you wanted to fill it.
yeah, and then I've had come up with a whole bunch of characters, and then finally I heard about like the Canadian Shield landmass, and I thought, that'd make a great name for superhero.
What
Canadian superhero.
what is the Canadian Shield landmass? What is that?
Um, I'm I'm not sure how to describe it. It's a geological thing. It's easy to look up.
Okay. Okay.
I know it goes from like way northern Ontario
Uh-huh.
into actually a little bit of the U.S.
Okay. I think it. I mean, maybe just as an American, I'm just not familiar with. I've never heard of it before.
Uh
But is it like an island? What is it?
no, it's like probably 3/4 of Ontario here. Maybe
Oh,
well,
okay.
you're drawing. I will look it up so I can describe it a bit better.
Jimmy with the tough questions. I don't know how tough it is. I just never heard of it. But you thought it'd be a good name for a superhero, and you were right.
Yeah,
That's pretty
yeah.
cool.
Actually, I think it's Guardian or Vindicator of Alpha Flight
Right. Yeah.
was going to be called Canadian Shield at first.
Oh, really? Okay. Hmm. You just decided to steal from John Byrne from Marvel.
Well, they didn't name. I didn't know it when I created the name.
Okay.
In fact,
Plausible deniability.
yeah. But they obviously they didn't call Vindicator Canadian Shield at
Right.
that
Yeah.
point,
Yeah.
or Guardian that
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, it's just but the thing is too, because it's a geological formation, it makes it the name
Hmm.
public domain.
Right. Yeah.
Um, so the Canadian Shield, also called Laurentian Plateau, is a geologic shield, a
Mm.
large area of exposed Precambrian Indianized, I have no idea,
Okay.
high grade rocks, and it forms North America Craton,
Hmm.
the ancient geological core of North America continent.
Okay. Hmm. Cool. I learned something today.
And uh, here, let me show it. Chrome. Okay, so and show that over. So you see, if you see, I think the red and orangey areas, a little bit of purple area that's all together there. That is the Canadian Shield,
Okay. Gotcha. But he.
or the geological
Right.
part.
Yeah, I understand. You're talking about the source of the name, but he operates throughout Canada though. He doesn't. He's not limited to like just the area called the Canadian Shield, correct?
Well, he's definitely not limited to that. But at first he's probably up in part of it, and like I said, he gets told travel south. Back in the 1800s, he's actually lives in the Hamilton area or just outside the Hamilton area.
Uh,
So he's actually gonna, when he goes south, he's gonna eventually end up back in Hamilton of modern day.
okay, gotcha. Huh. So, does he
No,
operate?
no,
Uh,
sketchbook. That's not quite the word that I was looking for. It wasn't quite indigenous. Anyways, go ahead.
I was gonna say, does he operate outside of Canada?
Probably eventually you'll see him outside of Canada. Like you'd see Superman or whatever doing whatever,
Okay.
because him
You still there, Rick? Uh
and Justice League if you're Avengers.
oh. You broke up for a second. Can you repeat what you said?
Oh, I said eventually him and several of my other characters are going to form like my Justice League or
Oh.
Avengers.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Like a team.
Yeah.
Now we're
So they'll probably end up outside of Canada for some of their adventures or whatever, I would guess.
okay. Cool. Now will Snowdrift be a member of the team?
Yes, she will.
Okay. Gotcha.
And in fact, as I was saying, she's slightly appears in the first issue, There she is in the back of this plane.
What the heck? What? Is she tied up? What's going on? Why is she
No,
on the back?
she's sleeping
She wait. Zoom in. Why are her eyes open?
because she's just heard these guys talking.
Okay, so she's not asleep.
Or she was asleep, and I guess they're talking about,
Okay.
this flying guy, you know.
Okay, I got scared for a second. I thought she slept with her eyes open. I was like, ah, ah. So,
And actually, I put this scene more
yeah.
from her perspective in Snowdrift #1 too,
Okay.
with a little added dialogue
So be
from
it still like a
her.
flashback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it won't be a flashback because it'll be happening in real time for her.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
I
I
understand.
guess to the reader it might be a bit of a flashback, but
Right. But not from her perspective. Now, what other characters do you have planned for this team?
there is the Flame,
Mm-hmm.
another character called Insecto, another one called the Wiz, Electide, and Ozona.
Okay. Now, will
7
they?
members in total. Well,
Will
eventually it's going to be expanded to 12, but
12? Wow. Okay. Now, will they all be Canadian themed or no?
they'll all be Canadian. But Canadian. I'm not sure what you mean by Canadian theme.
Like, will they all like have like will one carry like maple syrup with them? Will they all sort of have Canadian based sort of like Snowdrift is cold, Canada's
Yeah,
cold. Will they all sort of be? It's not
Canada depends on where you are in Canada. It isn't that cold. Like right here, right now, where I am, it's probably about as warm as where you are.
okay.
But well, this like I said, the third character is named Flame,
Uh-huh.
so he's heat based. So
Okay. Cool.
um, and then of course Insecto is insects, all
Now,
that. So,
do you plan on having individual books for each of the characters?
yes, I do.
Okay. When's the next one going to come out? The next character. When do you
Uh,
plan to?
he will come out with the next campaign, and that'll be the Flame.
Okay. Cool. Will that be this year?
Well, not this year, but hopefully early next year.
Okay.
I'll
So
be doing a campaign for that.
okay.
Depends
Great.
on the one thing it depends on a lot is how well this
Right.
campaign does.
Hmm.
To be able to have the money to
Uh,
pay for
right.
people.
Absolutely.
To, you
Yeah.
know,
So everybody, go and back Rick's campaign. The link is in the description below, and also is pinned to the top of the chat. So make sure that you click that button and support Rick and his campaign, um, as much as you can. But looks good. Very cool. Let me shrink this a little. Can I shrink it? Make it a little bigger? No. Okay. Well, I'll keep drawing the Canadian
uh,
Shield and see if I can do him justice. Now you said he flies, correct?
yes,
Okay. So this is this in a
yeah,
crazy pose to have him jumping in the air?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I know what you were asking about before.
Hmm?
The internet suddenly rudely interrupted. You're asking about the what you call it, the action figure.
Yes.
But yeah, so like I said, Tank put me in touch with the guy, and I talked to him, gave him reference, and told him, like the Hulk sized body. Um,
Where's he based? Is he based in the United States, Canada?
oh, the guy making it,
Yeah, yeah.
The Philippines,
Philippines. Wow. Okay.
or I'm pretty sure because when I went to pay, it converted my money into
Hmm.
converted the U.S. money that I was giving them into Filipino money. So,
Okay. Wow. So how's do you know how he makes it? Is it 3D
uh,
print? What is it?
I don't think it's 3D printed. I'm not 100% sure how he
Okay.
makes it.
And what-
And I'm probably going to be going to him in the future too, I'm gonna get a Snowdrift one made. I want to get all my major characters made.
Yeah. No, because it looked really, really good. I mean, what did you have to give him in order for him to create that?
I just gave him a whole bunch of pics, like reference pics,
Just
so
drawings?
yeah,
Wow.
and then, well, I also told him, the size, like the body type,
Okay.
like Hulk, you know.
So you did, wow. So you didn't have to give him like really like specific like I mean, I keep think. I mean, when I see something like that, I keep thinking that you need something like drafting, you know,
No,
illustrations to sort of like map out exactly like he's this exactly this tall. I mean, you don't need that.
well, I told him how tall I wanted it. I said
Mhm.
the 8 inches,
Right.
because that is the scale that I'm using. I'm using when I'm creating these right now. I'm
Uh-huh.
using the scale of a inch for a foot. So he's 8 foot, so
Oh,
8 inches.
okay.
That way, when I go and create Snowdrift, I say, I can say, oh, she's 5'9", so 5 inches and 3/4 of an inch.
Right.
So, you
Yeah.
know, that way you're gonna see when I get her made and have her standing next to him, you're gonna be able to see the scale difference.
Mm,
You
yeah.
know, I don't think too many comic book companies do that. You get a Wolverine figure and he's
Mhm.
the same size as Cyclops or whatever.
Right.
You know
Yeah. Yeah. I
what
think. Go ahead.
It's just it makes no sense, when there's a marginable difference that you should be able to notice
Right.
between the two characters.
Yeah. And I don't know if Marvel, I mean, just based on our movies, I don't know how concerned they are about being that faithful to the proportions of the characters are supposed to be in the comics
Yeah,
because I think they're probably more focused on, well, Wolverine is a lot more popular than Cyclops, so we'll make him taller. you know
yeah.
you
Well,
know that,
I'm even talking before the movies when you had the cartoons or just the
right.
comics that they
Mhm.
did it off of.
Yeah.
Like in the cartoon, like from the 90s,
Hmm.
Wolverine was shorter, but I don't think that the action figures that they brought out were, you know,
Right.
scaled like that.
Hmm.
They were just both the same size.
Yeah.
Because to them it wasn't. They were just going by the size that of the action figure that they could get.
Hmm.
For
Yeah.
that thing. All the characters are like 6 inches tall or 5 inches tall, whatever
Hmm.
it was. Didn't matter their height.
Yeah.
They're just all the same height.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. I understand. I got you.
Uh, Unless you like have one like what Professor Xavier, where he was actually in a wheelchair. Then he was a little smaller, but
Yeah.
if they could stand on their own 2 feet, they were all pretty much the same size.
My sketchbook says Rick will become a real life super. The toy's chemicals will seep into his blood. Rick is Plastic Man. Uh, uh, let's see. He says, tell me about it, Jay. It never sat well with me. Wolverine being taller than Scott. Yeah, I mean the movies were, yeah, and are. I mean, yeah, no, yeah. Don't get me started. The movies are yeah, less than ideal. I kind of dread seeing what they do with it when they bring the X-Men into the Marvel universe, and
Yeah,
because ideally, I would love for them to hire someone short to play Wolverine, but I don't really see that happening. It's just,
either that they either get somebody short for play Wolverine or somebody taller to play Scott.
yeah, I know, but you have to get. I mean, I think the guy who played him was already like 6 foot or 6'1", so
Yeah,
uh, yeah. Oh well, it's out of my control. I've kind of given up on Marvel movies at this point, so
yeah,
I can't get too upset anymore. Um,
for sure. It's just a movie, right? You won't get too
yeah,
upset about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's easy to say it's just a movie, but I mean, I love movies, so uh,
Yeah,
I love seeing characters that I enjoy, sort of brought to life in movies. So I tend to,
yeah,
you
get a
know,
bit
yeah,
territorial.
yeah, I'm kind of invested in seeing them like done well. Like
Yeah.
if it, like okay, let's say they make a movie about Canadian Shield. Who would you want to play him?
I know I've been asked that a few times, and
I mean, you wouldn't want I don't know, like
you wouldn't want a dwarf playing the
yeah, yeah,
Canadian.
exactly. You wouldn't want Hervé Villachez playing the Canadian Shield. So, but
Yeah, that would be something. It would be hard to get. I think the best. I'm not sure whether an actor that's close to the physique and all that, because
I mean, The
there's
Rock,
definitely maybe, because you need the tallness, the buffness,
right,
and there's not really too many people 8 foot tall around.
right, yeah,
Built like the Hulk.
right, yeah. I mean, only like viable one I can think of is The Rock. I mean, he's not Indian, but but I guess he could pass this one. But again, in today's world, I don't think that would fly. Um, but um, but I think he's probably the best one just because of his acting skills and the fact that physically,
Yeah.
you know, he's a good
Uh,
fit.
I've seen a few, I think, that might, but it's always changing. Like one that you seen 20 years ago that you thought would be a good idea
Mm,
might not be so good now because they're so much older.
right, exactly. Yeah.
The Shield may have to be CGI because he is repayment in height.
He's what?
Repayment. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. In height, by my sketchbook saying.
Where is he? Show. I don't know what that is. Ra- Raphium? Rephium? What does that mean? You gonna make me look that up? I've never heard.
He might have been Nephilim. Hit the R instead of the N. Although R is a little bit away from the end on the.
It's oh, okay. It refers to giants. It's from Hebrew.
Ah,
Okay, gotcha. Ancient giants in the Old Testament.
okay.
My sketchbook is a little more educated than the rest of us, so
Yeah.
he's showing it off.
Although technically he'd be small compared to Goliath. Goliath is another foot and a half. Would have a foot and a half on him
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay. Hmm.
that David faced. Yeah, because he was like 9'6", 9'8", something like that.
Hmm. Now I have a love hate thing with digital art where it's easy to fix mistakes like I'm doing here by sort of doing drastic surgery on the Canadian Shield's lower half, but at the same time I'm like, uh, it's hard for me to. It's fast, but it's not quite as satisfying as drawing by hand. So I'm still trying to get the hang of it.
Sketchbook says the king that was killed by Joshua was 13 feet.
Oh, what?
Okay.
What? Wow. Now
Okay.
that image on your screen right now, is that is that Snowdrift?
Yeah.
Is that the Canadian Shield next to her?
No.
Oh, okay.
The one person that's got her hand on her, his name's Rick Arrow.
Okay, so it's another character. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he's going to be part of her supporting cast.
Hmm.
He's the guy that finds her in the snow and unfreezes her.
Okay, okay, and that's him in the plane, in the other panel, correct?
Yeah, yeah, he's with the black hair there.
Okay, okay, got it, got it. Now, does Canadian Shield have a real name, real identity outside, or does he always wear that costume? Does he what? Does he have a?
Well, eventually he's going to get some modern day clothes, but for the first few issues, except for taking the mask off every so often, this is practically what he's going to wear.
Got it. Okay.
But his real name that he goes by, at this point, he's not even calling himself Canadian Shield. It's somebody that he meets that ends up becoming part of his um, supporting cast that gives him the idea of giving himself a different name in while he's got the suit on,
Hmm.
or while he's acting, like in a heroic manner
Mm-hmm.
to name himself something, and comes up with the Canadian Shield.
Okay.
But his name is normally Man like Cougar. Eventually, that's going to be shortened to Manly Cougar.
Okay.
That's it. Man like Cougar was his Indian name, or is
Mm-hmm.
his Indian name.
Right. Okay. Now, all your characters, will they be Christian heroes?
Well, all the heroes will be, yes.
Right.
But, like there'll be characters in it that aren't necessarily Christians,
Okay.
like she's Snowdrift's going to work in a restaurant, and nobody in the restaurant's going to be a Christian.
Okay. Cool. Um, so do you hope to put forth a positive Christian message with these books?
Oh yeah, I definitely.
Okay. Do you worry or struggle with the idea that the the books will be seen as preachy or come across as preachy?
Um, well, the only way I struggle with that is in trying to make sure they're not.
Hmm.
you know, I'm sure there will be a few that are a little bit more preachy than others, but for the most part, I want to keep them not preachy.
Hmm.
Yes, God's going to be there, and you're gonna probably see God a fair bit in them, but at the
Hmm.
same time, I don't want it to be preachy. I want it to be so non Christians can pick up the book and read it, and not feel threatened by reading it, for lack of a better way of saying it. You
Gotcha.
know,
Gotcha. So you want them to be, I guess, superhero books with Christian elements in them, as opposed to like just like chick tracks.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And it's a balancing act. Told I did a good job with number one in that respect.
Okay. Oh, good.
Because I think you know who Tank Farrett is, right?
Yes. Yes.
He, I'm pretty sure he said he's an atheist, and he read it, and he said, he thought it was great, didn't come
Oh,
across preachery or anything to him,
very good.
you know.
That's good. I mean that's great feedback to get.
Yeah. So, and I feel the other ones, read the same,
Hmm.
Yeah, like, there, like I said, there's going to be a little, some God stuff in it, because, the heroes themselves are Christian, and, when they talk, they give their point of view from their point of view,
Right.
but it's not too often, I think, that you're going to see that. Like in number three, you might get a little bit more of it because he's actually giving sort of, I wouldn't say it's testimony, but he ends up talking to an officer that's let him stay with him for a few days.
Hmm.
And, you know, he's telling the officer what's happened to him, over the last month and a half,
Yeah.
couple months. You know, yeah, God transported me through time. Huh? Are you crazy? I don't say it quite like that, but
Yeah.
I try to make it a normal conversation. You
Right.
know, you know,
Mhm.
for as normal as a conversation like that can be.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little odd, but oh, that's my phone. Hold on. I just have to let it go to yeah, I'm gonna have to let it go to voicemail.
Voice, yeah, you
Uh,
know, and the fact that him learning about phones and phone books and stuff like that,
hmm.
for the first time,
So who's the villain in this new book?
The villain's name is Toxico.
Okay.
Um, he is. You don't get too much of his backstory in the book. Although I have written it. And actually, I wrote a movie script with him being the villain.
Mhm.
And you get a bit more of the backstory in there. But basically, he's a guy that you know his life was controlled by his father for up until like college, university. Like his father was very strict, uh, authoritative, overbearing, um, and basically made him take what he felt he should in college. And then, of course, he met his the love of his life in college, and then his father tried to tell him he wasn't going to marry this person, and he told his father to take a hike.
Mhm.
And then, well, his mom's there all along, not doing anything. She's just the submissive
Right.
wife.
Right.
Um, so then he ends up getting married, having kids, and ends up getting in some financial trouble, and ends up borrowing money from the wrong people, and
Mhm.
is unable to pay it back. And
Okay.
they take him to this toxic waste dump to shoot him, and then him just fall into the waste, and be eaten away or whatever, and left for dead. But they don't quite kill him, and they don't realize it, and somehow the toxic waste merges with him, and ends up surviving the toxic waste dump, and
Right.
arises a few months later,
No, gotcha. Okay.
and then bent on vengeance, and also getting money whatever way he can to send back to his family.
Yeah. Uh, so he's sort of like a villain with a heart.
Well, only a heart for his family.
Right.
Anybody else? Screw you.
Yeah. But he's sending money back to them. I think that's kind of that's kind of cool.
Well, that's if he gets a chance to, like in this one, he's trying to take over a nuclear power plant, and ransom, not blowing it up for money,
Right. Huh.
or that's what his intentions are.
Right. That's cool. That's good.
But something happens to before you can get too far in those plans.
Yeah. Now I'm going to reveal my ignorance about Canada. Does Canada have a lot of nuclear power plants?
We have a few, definitely here in Ontario.
Mm.
I'm actually the one that he's going to be going to doesn't exist in real life, so
Hmm.
it's a new one in this town.
Oh,
Just because of how I'm making his journey be.
right. Huh. Okay, that's the sketch. I'm going to start doing some of the final inks on it because it's. I think I do better with digital art when I when I start focusing on some of the details, it's just
Yeah.
I am just so used to drawing by hand that when I try to draw digitally, just it doesn't seem to be as refined,
And,
unfortunately.
and yeah, Sketch, he did finish Snowdrift last night. I bring it up here.
Oh, oh, okay. He's asking if I fin- I we last night on we had Drawn and Quartered Fan Edition, Ultimate Edition, and Rick Piper's characters were the focus, the Canadian Shield and Snowdrift. So I drew Snowdrift last night. Let me see if I can get. There we go. Um, so that was my that was my version of Snowdrift because I wasn't that familiar with the character, so I figured I'd just draw a generic, you know, female
Yeah,
superhero
pose.
pose, and then put her in costume. So that's my Snowdrift. That's my 2 hour Snowdrift. It was fun to draw her, but like you said, I don't know if she'd be doing that in the comic. But
Yeah. But yeah, overall, it's great. Great
yeah,
pick. And, hopefully within this week, I'm going to be actually putting it up on my thing, on my comic, my website, part of fan art.
okay, cool.
Well, I did that with the last one too. All the stuff from the last John and Quarter got put up there too.
Yeah, but there was some great art last night from that Drawn and Quarter. I mean, I loved. I mean, some of these people weren't on actually on the in the competition, but they did the draw along. Like
Yeah.
Blue Moon Comics. Do you see his?
Which one was that? Probably.
He does like animation, and it was on YouTube, and it was the Canadian Shield eating poutine. Is that what's called? Poo, he was eating
Poutine.
that Canadian cheese mixture and
Yeah.
drinking maple syrup, I think. But he it was a single drawing, but
Oh,
he animated it.
okay.
It was
Uh,
very cool. I think his name is Blue Moon Comics or Blue Moon Cartoons or something like that.
okay. Let's see. I think. Do I know the one you're talking about?
If you just do the DNQFE search for that, let me see if I can find it.
Hashtag D
Um,
N Q F E.
let's see here.
Why do I never get the latest stuff
Oh,
here?
found it. Okay.
Oh, you might want to take me down to show it.
Yeah, give me a second. I gotta. All right, there we go. Copy.
Sketchbook says, I like the background. I don't know about the Greg Land pose, though.
Greg Land. Yeah, I didn't trace this, so. Unlike Greg Land, I did not trace that. Um, let me see. How do I do this? I guess I post. No, wait. Select all, paste, hit that. I don't think I have to be signed into Twitter to. Okay, there we go. Now I have to share this. This is this is so much fun trying to figure this out. All right, let me move you over. Let me kick myself off. Stop screen. Share screen. Share. There it is. Share. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me. What the heck? Close that. Goodbye.
a diet maple beer.
I thought that was so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Well, I
know?
wouldn't call that one so much animated. It's still the still picture, but he's got
Right.
flickering or whatever.
Yeah.
But
But I was like, man, he did that in 2 hours. I was really impressed. I was like, wow.
yeah. Well, he did more than that in the 2 hours. He
Yeah,
did
yeah,
that. He did that actual little comic strip too.
he did. Where is it? Um, he did like a larger. Uh,
Here, I'm loading it up. It'll be
okay,
online in a sec. Right there.
let me get back. Oh, there it is. Um, how do I put you?
Yeah, I've got it over here on my screen.
Got you. There you go. Yeah.
the moose, the moose has no more toilet paper, and somehow.
Oh man, terrible, terrible, terrible. But he's a great artist. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool stuff. So let's see. All right. Now let me see if I can't make this Canadian Shield look no better. Use that brush. Use that. Hmm.
Yeah. That's the unfortunate part with Mike having no longer doing his. Uh, there's the winner doesn't get an actual prize anymore.
Oh, you're talking about Mike Miller doing Drawn Quarter Pro Edition.
Yeah, well, he doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
He's now draw and think or draw and something.
Yeah. It's like sort of just draw and hang out. Yeah. So you're a Canadian native then.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. I'm native to
You're native to
Canada.
Canada.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I'm
native.
not. But I'm not Native American.
Right, but
Like
you're
I'm
Canadian
not
native.
an Indian.
You're born in Canada.
Yeah.
Cool. You plan on staying there?
Yeah. Well, for
Good.
the time being, hold on a sec.
My sketchbook says I think Chester needs to rotate talent on the show. They also need to get with some pros and get them to host a pro drawing stream to get the winners recognized. Yeah, it's just hard to to get people to commit to do stuff like that. They sort of have their own things they want to promote. So asking
Yeah.
them to set that time aside to promote, um,
Yeah.
fans. Uh,
Heck, I'm having a hard time getting on some bigger channels. Like
yeah,
just to promote. Like I asked the guy that's doing Truth, Justice, the American Way.
Gabe. Yes, Gabe El Taib. Yes.
Yeah, and he has a right to. It's his channel and all that. But like he's like, oh, sorry, not helping people promote their books at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, and I kind of understand that because these guys have their own books to promote,
Yeah,
and it's just, I mean, I know that Ethan does promote some people, but it's a hard juggling act to do because once you do it for one person, then everybody else wants you to do it for them,
yeah,
and you can't do it for everyone. So sometimes it's just easier to tell everyone
yeah.
no than to sort of have to hurt people's feelings and tell some people yes and some people no. Yeah.
Well, Marsupial, I'm more than welcome to come on the vomitor. More than willing to come on the vomitorium. I figured you guys would have asked.
What a what?
Oh, he says Rick doesn't even bother with the vomitorium. He's too good for us.
Ah, yeah,
Hey,
go on.
Eric.
Yeah. The Vomitorium is, I think it's Saturday and Wednesdays. Wednesdays and
Yeah,
Saturdays. Okay.
yeah, and that's Metal and Marsupial.
Yeah.
Well, it's on Metal. That's Metal, one of Metal's channels, but Marsupial is his co-host.
Yeah. Yeah. And I watch, maybe not every week, but I watch fairly often. And those guys are, I, those guys are really faithful about doing that show every week. Um,
Yeah,
and yeah, if you haven't already, go subscribe to Marsupial Gamer and the Metal, and check out the Vomitorium. Um, my sketchbook says Rick is like an Oklahoman. The Trudeau tornado came through, and he's gonna stay and rebuild. Well, he wants to rebuild Canada after Trudeau destroys the landscape. There have to be some good Canadians left to rebuild what was destroyed. So, hey, Eric Hawkins is here. Eric Hawkins, who is the creator of the Zombie Before World of Oz, whose book is going to be coming out very shortly. I think it's coming in the. I think he just got it from the printer today. So hopefully, we'll all be getting it in the next few weeks.
cool, cool, cool.
My sketchbook says I understand that too, but then on the other hand, they are like, share my book and shill it on your channels and Twitter. Yeah, two-way street. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. So, and my sketchbook also says marsupial. No one is too good for the vomitorium. That is true. I went on there for my book, Secret Comics Presents. So I encourage everybody to check out the vomitorium, and if you got a book that you want to push, go on there. Sick Fox Studios. Do you know what that is, Rick?
No,
Okay.
a gaming company maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. Eric Hawkins says 160 pounds of books arrived today. Dang. I've been watching UPS drive around my house on a live map for the past hour. You're going to have to lift every one of those books out of that truck, Eric, or at least help. So.
Oh, there's probably in several packs, several
Yeah, it'd be quite a workout.
boxes. I know my books were in a couple different
Mm-hmm.
boxes.
Yeah. Now, what's the hardest part about the crowdfunding campaign for you?
Oh, I would say just trying to get out there and get people to know
Mm,
that you're there. That and sort of, you know, uh, I guess it's coming up with the right campaign because like I'm not going to show it, but like insights. I've had. Let's see. Come on, come on, come on, come up. I've had 253 people visit my thing. Now I don't sure whether that counts me or not because I've been there a few times.
oh, right. Right.
But I've only gotten like 11 backers.
Mm. Now your campaign just started, correct?
Yeah, just over a week ago.
Okay. You only have 11 backers so far?
Yeah,
Wow.
and one of them I know is the same household. I had to give him a secret perk because
Hmm.
because he forgot to get the Canadian Shield one, and his
Hmm.
wife wanted the physical copy of the Canadian Shield one. So,
Hmm.
and you can't go back and do an add-on afterwards
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
because anybody who wants the Canadian Shield one who wasn't around last time, it is available as an add-on. I've got several add-ons as you might have saw there. There's the fan art cover by Elric Cayuga.
Hmm.
Um, there's some keychains by Mallet.
Now you're advertising on Twitter?
Yeah, I usually put out at least a thing a day.
Okay.
Well,
Good.
you know, although I'd like to. I should probably find. I'm not sure how to do the ads for Twitter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that may or may not. Yeah, I mean, I just focus on like free advertising right now. I mean, unless
yeah,
yeah, because it's just especially for a campaign that's kind of relatively small. It can be a lot of money that you're
yeah,
going to be spending with not that much maybe results.
yeah,
So because I've advertised on Facebook before, but it didn't really result in much because I didn't have that much money to spend on advertising. I think I was able to spend like $25 over the course of like 5 days, and I would see my ad, but it doesn't get nearly the sort of spread that you would get if you spent say like $100 or more on an ad. But I just couldn't afford it, so um, you know, just do the best you can with your resources.
yeah,
That's usually like free advertising. You know. Um,
yeah. And it's like I said, trying to get out there, get on channels, and
hmm Yeah.
I've even put out to a couple of Christian newspapers. One last time was going to do an article, and then COVID hit,
Uh, yeah.
and then they were down for a
Right.
few months, and then just going digital. As far as I know, the article that was going to be done didn't get in the paper, so it was like,
hmm
ah, crap. So
Yeah.
I contacted them to see whether they wanted to do something for this
hmm
one. I haven't heard back from them. I might send them a email early next week.
hmm Yeah. Now he has he has like a pentagon on his head on his or is that a maple leaf? I can't
Well,
remember.
it's not a pentagon. Well,
What is it?
it's a five-sided object. Is that a pen?
That's pentagon.
Oh, I guess I'm thinking pentagram. When
Oh
you
no,
say-
no, no. That's a little different. That's a little different. I don't think he has one of those.
no,
Um,
it's a shield though with five sides.
yeah, pentagon, the symbol of American power, is on his forehead.
Marsupial says it's my Blade Devil comic from Raging Golden Eagle. Oh, cool.
All right. No, you have to correct me if I start screwing this up, Rick. Like,
Yeah, I try to. I've been trying not to be that.
it's too late. You've already screwed him up.
Yeah, he doesn't have the Hulk physique.
Oh, I'm trying, Rick. I'm trying.
The anxiety is worse because I'm at work and not home today. Laugh out loud.
Now, do you have any
Says,
siblings?
pardon?
You have any siblings?
Technically no, but there's a friend that I've had for years that
Okay.
is he's like a brother to me and like a son to my mom.
Okay.
But unfortunately, at the moment, I have no idea where he is.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to know if anyone else in your family was into comics or anything.
Oh no,
Yeah.
not like me.
Oh. Just like my family. I'm like the only one in my family who's really into comics.
I've tried to get lots of people and friends of mine into the comics, and
hmm Yeah,
eh.
it's kind of a niche hobby. So or niche.
There's lots of people that love watching the cartoons or whatever, or love, maybe don't even mind watching the movies, but
Right. Yeah.
they're nowhere near as fanatics about it.
Right. Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. But I don't know. I've just always found comic books and superheroes to be it's a lot of fun. So I
Yeah,
just I never gave up on it. I just kind of kept going with it.
yeah. Well, I know one day, hopefully, I can have the money to have you on board on the comics,
Oh,
drawing an issue. But then again, do you think you could get done in 20 pages, 22 pages in, like less than 30 days?
I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing. It's like I did work with Nasser on his book last year,
Yeah,
and it was fun, but it's just a lot of work. You don't really you don't really realize it until you're in the thick of it. Just how much energy it takes to work on a comic. I mean, I'm a big I'm a big supporter and fan of comics, so it's so I spent a lot of time sort of like criticizing late books and everything. But once I started doing one, I was like, I can't really I can't really criticize people that much because
well,
it's
uh,
a lot of work.
it depends on the reason why it's late, in my
Right.
opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if it's late because you're just not doing the work, that's one thing. I mean, I'll complain about that, but I I under, I understand. I better understand
Yeah,
why people might take a long time to draw a book because it's not as easy as one might think just from reading a book. Um,
yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of thought that that has to go into sort of planning. Yeah, they
yeah,
describe drawing comics as like directing a movie
yeah,
because you have to mentally visualize the scene. You have to create all the objects
yeah,
in the picture. You have to get reference so it doesn't look like garbage, and it's just a lot more work than one would initially think.
yeah. That's definitely for sure. There's so many moving parts.
Yeah, and you have to do it all. Especially if you're an independent creator, you're
Yeah.
writing and drawing a book.
Either that or you got to pay for it all to be done. Like if you're just the
Right.
right
Yeah.
writer.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a tricky thing. But I would love to draw more comics. It's just yeah.
Sketchbook says if he learns the tools on Clip Studio and does a super, which is something he likes, I have faith that Jason can do it.
Oh, thanks. I need to learn Clip Studio Pro. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm drawing in Photoshop right now,
yeah,
and that's really the only sort of drawing program that I'm familiar with. That's not Vector. I mean, I know Illustrator, but
yeah,
what I've seen of Clip Studio Pro has been very impressive. I mean, I've seen the stuff that Matt Costin's been doing with it, and pretty much everyone who's been working in it, and just the effects and everything. It's been very cool to see. So I need to I need to buckle down and check it
yeah,
out myself.
yeah. Well, you can get it free for a while. You just missed a sale on it where you can get it half off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for Father's Day they had it half off, and I actually upgraded to the EX version,
Oh, wow. Dag
which
nabbit, I missed it.
which allowed me to. The EX version allows you to have multiple pages
Oh, wow.
on the same thing,
Uh huh.
as you can sort of see from mine there.
Oh, hold on. Sorry.
Oh, you can't
Where am I?
see it.
Oh, there I am. Okay. Boom.
Oh,
So this is Clip Studio right here.
yeah,
Okay.
and see multiple pages of the Canadian Shield.
Ah, wow.
Number
Huh.
two. Snowdrift. Instead of just having one page open at a time, and then you can go through them, work on whatever one you want without
Mm,
really opening another file, having
yeah.
another tab.
Now, when you draw the book, um, you well, you're not drawing these books because you've hired other artists to do it. But
Yeah.
when when you're working on a book, you draw digitally or do you draw
Uh,
traditionally?
I'm starting to draw digitally.
Okay. Now, what do you use? What type of tablet do you use?
Oh, right now I'm just using like a Wacom tablet,
Okay.
a cheap one. Want to
Is it
upgrade that. Here, I'll show my
is it one of the
face.
is it one of the
Here's
okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
there.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha. So it's not one of the tablets where the screen is actually the tablet.
Yeah. Although I'm wanting to upgrade to that very soon.
Okay. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, because I'm wondering if there's a difference when you use those. Because I use a tablet very much like yours, where
Yeah.
you're drawing on a tablet, but the screen is separate, and you're
Yeah.
sort of it's like a hand-eye coordination thing. You have to.
Yeah. Well, I hear there is definitely a bit of a difference,
Hmm.
you know, and I'm sure there is,
Yeah.
because you're using what 6-inch screen or 6-inch thing or whatever 4-inch, whatever your size of your graphics tablet is, to
Well,
draw on whatever screen you have as a monitor.
right. Yes.
So
Yeah. I mean, my tablet's a little bigger than that, but it's
yeah,
but I guess the experience of actually touching the pen to the surface that you're drawing on is huh.
about a week, Eagle. Well, no, yeah, about a week. I've had it behind me, the big shield.
Huh.
He's of course talking about that.
Ah, cool. Now, is that for cons when you go to conventions?
Yeah. Well, ultimately,
Okay. Cool.
I just and now to have him behind me too. Whenever I might be showing my face, you know, it's neat to have it there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's very cool.
You know.
That it, are there a lot of big cons in your area?
There's at least three major ones a year. There's Hamilton,
Wow.
which is not super big.
Mhm.
There's Niagara Falls, which just happened back in June. I
Mhm.
wasn't able to get to that. And then there's a couple in Toronto, Fan Expo and Toronto Comic Con.
Okay.
Uh, Toronto Fan Expo is coming up in August. I
Mhm.
was gonna go to that. I was thinking about getting a table there,
Yeah.
but I would just be worried about not having enough material for that because on
Mhm.
Wikipedia the last recorded numbers was I think 2017, and there was 167,000 people there.
Whoa. Whoa. How much would a table cost for a place like that?
Artist Alley, the table's only costing like I think five something Canadian, 500 and change Canadian,
Okay. Well.
somewhere
Hmm.
between 500 and 600 Canadian.
Okay.
I got one for the Hamilton Comic Con, the major Hamilton Comic Con. There's a couple small ones
Mhm.
too that I'm going to be going to,
Okay. Good.
which are
Um,
a lot cheaper.
we'll make sure to let people know, when you're going to be there, so people can show up
Yeah,
and say hi in person.
yeah. Well, unfortunately, I doubt you guys are going to be able to get. You guys in the states are going to be able to get to Hamilton Comic Con, but
Right, but
I'm gonna I'm gonna start to try and get to a few in the states. There might be one in October. I'm
right.
going to. It's a very small one. My friends over on Hero Shack, they're sort of getting with their library to create a
Hmm.
small Comic Con,
Yeah,
so I might go there.
yeah. but YouTube is international, so I'm sure there might be plenty of
Yeah.
Canadians who might be watching this video who will say, where can I meet Rick Piper in person
Yeah.
and buy his comic? So for all those people, make sure to let them know where and when you'll be showing up at Canadian Con so they can hang out and wear their Canadian Shield cosplay.
Yeah. Oh, I'd like to see that. Hey, I've done the Canadian Shield cosplay already, so
That'd be awesome. Yeah, seriously. Everybody out there, all you cosplayers, start dressing as a Canadian Shield and show up at Rick's table at these Canadian cons.
Eagle says we're going to jump the border, Rick. We are have a van.
There you go. Seriously. uh, Eagle says, "Have a van waiting, Rick. We're all going to stay at Rick's place when we invade Canada, dressed as the Canadian Shield." Oh man.
Oh, have a van rating. I read that
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, you have to get the van, and then we'll just jump in. When we cross the border. So.
Oh, why wouldn't I be? Oh, you can come. I can get out of my country easier, but it's still hard, I think, for other countries getting in.
Mm.
I'm not saying you wouldn't be able to come, Sketch. I'm just saying I'm not sure like a lot of you would travel all that way for that con. I'm hoping to next year get a few cons in the states into maybe some places that
Cool.
we can have meetups with
Mm-hmm.
guys. Like I'd like to do one in Texas, maybe one in
Oh,
Florida, maybe one in California, LA area,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
maybe two or three others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thing about I don't know. American cons are they're so expensive now. It's like I don't know. I don't know if how many I'm going to be going to in the future. It's just it costs
Yeah,
like $50 to get in, and then
yeah,
$25 to park. It's just kind of crazy.
yeah. Although the one, the August one for
Hmm.
the Fan Expo one in Toronto that are saying that I was gonna get a table to, I'm at
Yeah.
least gonna go there and for one of the days, get a bunch of art or whatever,
Hmm.
hand out maybe hand out some business cards.
Oh,
You
good.
know, I know I did that when on the last the Niagara Falls Comic Con. I went there just for that.
Mm.
And now when I go, I actually have a Cross Comics hat.
Now, do you hope to do a campaign every year?
Yeah. Well, I hope to do two or three campaigns every
Oh,
year.
okay.
Well, like I said, the real thing it depends on the money. Like
Right. Yeah.
you know, if I can get, I know if I can get like say 12,000 with this
Hmm.
campaign, that'll be enough to I'd say print the books and pay artists and all that for the next round. You know, Now, if I don't get 12,000 or close to that, then
Is it 12,000
every,
Canadian or American?
I think Canadian.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
So okay. So let's say 12,000 American.
Yeah,
Um. Okay. So
which is
that.
probably about 14,000 Canadian,
Okay.
14, 15.
So yeah. So folks, let's help Rick get to at least as close to that goal as possible. And back to Canadian Shield. It's again, a link is in the description below, and also it's pinned to the top of the chat. So you guys are able to go and back his book.
Marsupial says, I got paid yesterday. I guess that means I have to back the Canadian Shield.
It does. That's exactly what it means. Pay Rick first, then your rent.
No, no, no. I would never advise that.
Don't worry, if you get kicked out of your apartment, Rick will put you up in his place. All you have to do is get past the border patrol in Canada.
Oh, that's pretty easy. Just go to Roxham Road, and I think
What?
that
Are you giving people direction on how to break Canadian law, Rick?
to the back border.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
The RCMP will be your bellhops.
Oh, yeah.
They'll take you for you. You know.
Now, Rick, does the Canadian Shield have anything on his cape, on the back?
He does have the same type of emblem from his chest on the cape.
So he has a maple leaf in the
Yeah,
shield. That's on
yeah,
his
on the
cape.
cape. Yeah,
Cool. Okay. Okay. Thanks for telling me. I appreciate it.
yeah. It's just the colors are reversed
Okay.
because the cape is red, thus the shield will be white and the maple leaf red, instead of where his body suit is white, so thus the shield's red and the maple leaf's white.
Okay.
Not that that matters to you at this point because you're not coloring it.
Yeah, I'm not coloring it, but I'd like to visualize in my head what it should look like. So let's see.
Marsupial says, "Does Canada need migrant laborers? I'll build a website for you, senor." Well, they actually do bring in migrant labor via planes and stuff like that, from what I know.
mm,
Just like the U.S. Well, U.S. probably doesn't do so much for planes so much because, well, you got the
yeah.
border that they can jump.
They bring in poor New Yorkers into Canada to do their slave labor. Hmm. Trying to get this to look right, but give me a second. Let me see.
One. There's your second.
Oh no, if I forgot. Yeah. So far we've avoided the the
The
dreaded
puns.
The Rick puns, but I'm gonna try my best to keep this live stream as pun free as possible. Uh, that's better. That fits a little better. Let's see, maybe get this corner. Yeah, that's not bad. See, digital art does have some benefits. And actually, I could have, if I were smart, what I could have done, I could have just rotated it like this if I had brains. But I don't have brains, so I didn't do that.
It is overall looking good.
Yeah, I'm just not. I know I would do a much better job if I were doing this traditionally. But if I were doing this on my drawing table, I wouldn't be able to navigate the stream because I have to be in front of my computer. So that's the only reason why I'm not I'm not drawing this by hand. Well, I am. I'm using my hands, but I'm not I'm not drawing this with a pencil and paper.
Marsupial says, "Wading through the Canadian Rio Grande." Hey, Eagle says, "Can't wait for Marsupial jumping the border live stream." Sketchbook says, the transformation tool, the loveliest tool of digital art. Unless he was saying Mexicans in Michigan border cross to Canada. Although he spelled Mexicans wrong. Or maybe he did that on purpose. Because the H is a little far from the X.
Now, Rick, I know that you're working with John Dillard, who created the Buckler. The now the he did create the Buckler, correct? John Dillard.
Yes.
Okay, but the Buckler in that character storyline, he's connected to the Canadian Shield, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Are they going to meet up again?
John is planning it for book 2, the Buckler 2.
Okay.
They're gonna have a SmackDown.
Oh, really? Oh, good. Cool. And for those of you who don't know, John Dillard is another comic book creator, and the Buckler is his villainous character, but the character started off as a wannabe hero, um, who I guess admired the Canadian Shield. Is that it?
Yeah.
Uh,
And then didn't quite live up to expectations.
And so as a result, he fell into villainy. Correct?
Yeah, from what I know, he went away, came back, and instead of coming back a better hero, he comes back a villain.
Okay, gotcha.
He goes and gets his training, and then it's like, oh, I'm gonna use it for villainy to take over instead
Okay.
of help.
So like the anti-Batman.
Yeah.
Batman went away to become a better hero, and the Buckler went away to figure out how to get back all the people who did him wrong.
Yeah. He idolized the Shield, and his rejection broke the Buckler.
Yeah, rejection is hard, you know.
Although the Buckler wasn't well, yeah, I guess he was the Buckler. Then he was the Buckler before and after.
Yeah. He was it's just
From here, he went from hero to zero. I mean, he fell from grace. He is actually I guess, sort of even a biblical story, not quite the same as, but
mm-hmm.
sort of like Lucifer. Going from
Oh,
being one of the top guys, although Buckler not being a top guy, but
right.
there, and fell from grace and became a bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Bitterness makes can easily turn a person's heart. So
Yeah. Although eventually I will have my own Buckler in my universe, but my Buckler is going to be a little different.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
My Buckler is going to be the guy who was intended to have the Shield uniform,
Oh, really?
but
And,
the Canadian government in the future.
right. Yeah.
So he's going to find out what happened to the suit and go after it.
So he's gonna go back in time.
Yeah.
Okay. Now how are they gonna know that it went back in time? Oh, wait, that's probably part of the story, so you probably shouldn't say.
Well, I don't know exactly how, but if they look back in history, obviously they can see the suit that they created
Oh,
now.
yeah, true. Yeah.
And and they would probably have heard stories about
Mm-hmm.
this guy who got this mysterious suit.
Right.
It's not the Canadian Shield's going to be a very public figure, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true.
so he's going to have figured out, "Oh, somehow my suit went back in the past," and he's going to get a hold of some sort of time travel and go back, grab it, and go back to the future.
Mm.
And then Manley's gonna go after him, get the suit back,
Mm.
and then get it back, and then come back to the present, and then the guy that was supposed to have had the suit's going to get some sort of other suit and then go back to the past and become a problem for the Canadian Shield.
Hmm. So it'd be sort of like a reverse metaphor of the colonialists stealing the Indians' land.
I guess so.
Let's see. It's like there's a making of a good drawing here, but it's pulling it out. It's drawing it out. That's the problem.
Well, I don't think he was quite a liar in that quite from the beginning, because I don't think God would have created Lucifer, Satan, whatever you want to call him, as a murderer or thing. He did fall from grace. He was, the head of, I think it's supposed to be music in heaven, and then, he rebelled.
Right. Yeah.
He tried to put himself above God.
Yeah. He wasn't always evil, because if he was always evil, then I mean God wouldn't have created him evil from the beginning.
Yeah.
He chose to rebel.
Yeah, but it was obviously probably within the first 100, 200 years or less that he, of his existence, or even less, that he, rebelled.
Hmm.
Because we don't know how long before, we don't know when angels were created exactly.
Hmm.
Uh, Jesus said it. There's no scripture that states he was. John said it, and Jesus said it. Oh, yeah, I know Jesus said that he was that from the beginning, but depends on, I guess, your definition of the beginning. When you're dealing with 6,000 years, is 50 years or 100 years close enough to the beginning? Or was it a couple years? There's a couple things in the timeline, because he obviously had to fall before Adam and Eve to have, corrupted them to fall. But he had to have fallen at some point. We know about, we do learn about the rebellion in heaven through the Old Testament scriptures,
Yeah.
and that he was the head of it, from what I remember.
Hmm.
He could, since the beginning of time, maybe,
What?
as we know it.
Yeah. I mean, God and heaven and hell exist outside of time.
Yeah. Although hell, I don't think came into creation till after, whatever you want to call Satan, Lucifer, whatever. Because Satan, just as far as I know, I've learned, just means adversary. So I'm pretty sure Lucifer was his name beforehand, or could still be. Yeah, yeah. Yahweh can use good or evil, but the tree, in essence, yeah, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, just because of, enacting against God's will, it becomes evil.
All right. Let's see.
Satan was made for this reason. Romans states Yahweh imprisoned all of us in sin so he could show his mercy.
Now, hold on. I gotta figure out what this maple leaf looks like. I'm not. why couldn't you? Why couldn't Canada have formed a easier thing to draw, easier symbol?
Um, have you seen some of the other symbols on other countries?
Yeah, like the United
These
States.
these lions and bears and unicorns or whatever,
Yeah, why can't they all be simple like a star?
or stripes.
Yeah, exactly. Let's keep it simple. Dag nabbit. Um,
Well, this is better than what Canada's flag used to be, the Union Jack. There's a lot more complication on that one.
yeah, is it more complicated? I don't know. Union Jack's seems pretty simple, but I haven't really drawn one, so maybe it's harder than I think.
Well, look at the lion part of it in the Union Jack. You know,
There's a lion
yeah, yeah,
in the Union Jack. I thought it was just stripes.
yeah. Okay, let me look it up.
Okay, that looks pretty good. Hit that deselect. Let me try this.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe it is just stripes.
There goes my
Yeah, but this wasn't our. Uh, let's see, Canada's for Canada's old flag. Copy image. Uh, oh, well, let's keep that up actually. So let's bring this, and then let's see what else sketch is saying. Uh, 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 hmm. Hold on. Hello. Hold on, Dave.
Okay, Cross Comics had to go for a second, but he'll be back. I'm gonna keep working on this and see what the chat says. Um, my sketchbook says everyone say hi to Dave. Hi Dave, how you doing, Dave? Good seeing you. How's Dave doing? How's Dave doing, Rick?
Good. He's not up here yet. He was just on the buzzer.
Okay, cool. Everyone's saying hi to Dave. So, but it's been about 2 hours now, so I'll let you go. So you can get on with your day.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep on working on this, and then once I'm finished, I'll post it up on Twitter, so you can
Okay.
take a look at it.
Okay. Yeah, and then I'll be putting this one again on my fan art page.
Okay. Oh, cool. Great. But I want to just show everybody your campaign one more time before we take off. Hold on. Let's see, share screen, tab, boom, share. Is it working?
Yeah, I see the page.
Okay, there you go.
Uh, maybe hit
Yeah,
refresh.
let me get that, get that, get that. There we go. That's better.
Okay, and maybe hit the refresh. See whether anybody.
Oh, yeah. Let's see if anybody bought some copies. It's at 567 USD right now.
With 11 backers.
Not yet.
No.
But everybody,
Hey.
even if you haven't backed the book yet, please
Go share. Yeah,
share out the
share.
link. Share out. There's a link here for Facebook, Twitter, and also just a general link. Share this link out to Rick's campaign, to all your social media. Let them know that Canadian Shield is available for sale, and you have 53 days left, but that's going to go by fast. So help Rick as much as you can. All these campaigns need all the help they can get. So back independent comics creators, because like Rick said, I mean, whether he makes, future issues depends on how this campaign goes. So,
well, no, I'll make for future issues. It just depends on how fast they come out.
Okay. Well, yeah. So if you want his books, if you want the books out on a regular basis, back the books. He wants to put out, one or more books out every year. So, let's help him do it. So, give Rick, all the support you can. Okay. Rick, anything else you want to promote or tell people about before we go?
Well, just if you haven't, go sub to me here on YouTube. Help me build up that channel and all that as well.
Okay.
Or on Rumble as well. I'm over on Rumble.
What's your thing on Rumble?
Cross Comics.
Cross Comics. Okay. And the links to Rick's YouTube channel and Twitter are in the description below. So everybody go down to the description, subscribe, and follow Rick on YouTube and Twitter. And also you can find him on Rumble through Cross Comics. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Well, Rick, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for hanging out with me.
Well, thanks for having me.
No, my pleasure. It's good talking to you. And thanks for, again, letting us know more about your characters, Canadian Shield and Snowdrift, and what you have planned for the future, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Hey, you guys take care. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.